Yes, people, how you doing out there? Truth Hitman here. The name of this video is called The Cheddar Man, Truth Mixed with Lies. Some of you are probably wondering, what's all this about then? Don't worry. Please be patient. And by the end of this video, you'll have a clear understanding of what this is all about, because all the dots will be connected together, trust me. Alright, they've done a study of a 10,000-year-old skeleton who represents the first people to populate Britain, right? And it turns out that, it was a black man, or the first inhabitants were black, yeah? Now the newspapers, not all of them, but most of them, it's like they don't want to admit it, yeah? So instead of just saying that, the first people to inhabit Britain were black, they come out with, headings like, the BBC here, Cheddar Man, DNA shows early Britain had dark skin. The Independent, Bristol Post, even the Guardian, first modern Britons had dark to black skin, Cheddar Man DNA analysis reveals, and we got here even the Natural History Museum, Cheddar Man, Mesolithic, I think that's how you pronounce it, Britain's blue-eyed boy. Anyone would think that was a white guy, wouldn't it? No, it's a black man. So, big respect to newspapers like the Telegraph, who get down to it, straight to the point. See it there? Cheddar Man, the first Britons were black. Natural History Museum DNA study reveals. Now, I want to point something out to you before I go any further. This computer's kind of slow, so please bear with me. Okay, look, this is what it says. The earliest Britons were black-skinned, with dark curly hair and possibly blue eyes. New analysis of a 10,000-year-old Somerset skeleton has revealed. So, they don't say he's definitely got blue eyes. It's possibly that he had blue eyes. But he could have had blue eyes. He could have had green eyes. It doesn't matter. The first people to inhabit Britain were black. So here we go to the RT News. Yeah. So you got the head in there. Yeah. And they say the same thing. The Natural History Museum carried out cutting-edge genetic sequencing and facial recognition technology on the Cheddar Man, the skeleton found near Gorg's Cave in the Cheddar Gorge, I think that's how you pronounce it, and found that the first British settlers had dark skin, curly hair, and possibly blue eyes, okay? But this is the image that they give. It looks like a Neanderthal man. But we know that, black people have woolly hair, not shaggy hair, woolly hair. Okay, this guy's got shaggy hair. And another interesting thing I want to point out is, I want to show you how they lie. Yeah, just because someone has got a PhD, or you got or a school teacher, doesn't mean that they don't lie. You know what I mean? Or they haven't got a criminal record or whatever. I want to show you, I want to prove to you that, you got scientists, historians, school teachers, who tell lies in the name of white supremacy. The myth of white supremacy, I should say. Yeah, and the reason why they do it is because they want to uphold the notion of white superiority, that white people are superior to everybody else. So that's why they distort history. They try to make out that the characters of the Bible were white. Jesus was white. Moses was white. Oh, God was white. Nobody's seen God. They try to make out that the Egyptians are white. This is why they do it. yeah, because they wanna hold on to that notion, right? But then you got non-racist scientists that come out with the truth. Now check out this. It says here, as part of this report from the RT News, the research is in stark contrast to a previous reconstruction of the Cheddar Man by the University of Manchester in 1998, which thought the British ancestor to be white-skinned. Director of the study, Robert Stoddard, is remarkably reported to have said that the Cheddar Man probably looked pretty much like any modern inhabitant of a Somerset pub. Yeah, so this director of the study is from the University of Manchester. Yeah, and he's one of them, clearly, that wants to uphold the notion that the first people in Britain were white. This was 20 years ago, though. You see what I'm saying? Yeah, and that's his statement. Look pretty much like any modern inhabitant of a Somerset pub. I could imagine him saying it, you know what I mean? Alright, now, let me prove to you, yeah, also why they want to make you think that, you know, the Cheddar Man looked like that. We know better now, but this is why they made him look like this. Look, they have to update Wikipedia, because that looks nothing like the Cheddar Man, you get me? But this is why I want to show you why they do it. Yeah, remember I said they want to uphold their notion of white superiority to prove that, you know, white people are superior to everyone else. Now, this ain't your next door neighbor that's doing it. If you're a black man or a white person with a if you're a black person with a white partner, it's not them. They've been brainwashed though to believe that their race is superior. You know, that's everyone's been taught that. Black people, whatever, everyone that's been, you know, dominated or colonized, whatever. So we know that, you know, every time they do a Hollywood movie showing Egyptians, showing biblical characters or whatever, you know, the people are always white because they want to maintain that image. And this is proof of it. They've been doing it for a long time. And this is why the Piltdown Man was a hoax, yeah? And it takes honest people to come out and expose them, you know? Could you imagine now, though, if I was, when people like me are in class, or, you know, we're around people who haven't woken up, and they still believe everything that they read, they still believe everything that they see, including the images, the fake images that they see, that's created by the scientists and, you know, the institutions, you know, the elite, whatever. They believe in all these things, you know what I'm saying? And then someone like me comes up and says, excuse me, this is the case though. They will look at me as being, you know, the destructive one in the class, or, you know, the negative one in the group. You're obsessed with race and you're obsessed with skin color. And we're not obsessed with skin color. What we're trying to establish is the truth. But because the truth involves skin color, we have to mention it. You see what I'm saying? Just like in the Bible, in Lamentations chapter 4 verse 8, it says that the Hebrews describe themselves as having black skin. Now they were trying this is how to get around it. They make a new translation of the Bible and take the word black out and replace it with hot and stuff, like little tricks like that the average person won't notice until it's pointed out to them. Yeah, but when you read the book of, when they try and counteract it, you come back at them again with the book of Zephaniah chapter 1 verse 1, where it says that the prophet Zephaniah is the son of Cushi. Now go and find out what Cushi means. It denotes a dark-skinned person. Do you know what I'm saying? So it doesn't matter whether the Bible is true or not. We're dealing with counteracting the myth of the lies that's been promoted out there. Because they're not only lying to black people, they're lying to their own people. And this is the basis of it. Look. Listen.
One of the most interesting examples of how the evolution theory offered inspiration to British imperialism was the scandal of the Piltdown Man. In 1912, a strange skull was dug up in Piltdown, England. Charles Dawson, the scientist who found the skull, together with his team, declared that it belonged to a creature that was half ape, half human. Arthur Keith, the famous evolution anatomist, examined the fossil and confirmed the results. However, Dawson and Keith emphasized an important point. The brain size of Piltdown Man was as big as that of modern man. The jawbone, however, had ape-like features. Suddenly, the brain of Piltdown Man became a source of great pride for the British. Since his skull was found in England, it surely had to be an ancestor of the British. The great size of the brain was supposed to indicate that the British had evolved to a higher status than the other races, thus in effect confirming that the British mind was superior. Which is why the discovery of Piltdown Man aroused such great excitement in England. Newspapers ran headlines. In social circles, they joyously celebrated this discovery. The British government, for their part, honoured Arthur Keith with a knighthood as acknowledgement for his work on the Piltdown skull. The famous evolutionary paleontologist Johansen explains the relationship between Piltdown and British imperialism as follows.
The Piltdown discovery was very Eurocentric. Not only did the brain have preeminence, but the English had preeminence.
The inspiration the English derived from Piltdown Man lasted for 40 years. Then, in 1953, a scientist named Kenneth Oakley examined the fossil in detail and disclosed that it was in fact the greatest forgery of the 20th century. The fossil had been faked by attaching an orangutan jaw to a human skull. London radio announced this fact in astonishment.
Yeah, so, cut a long story short, they lied. So it shows you that people, scientists lie, historians lie, school teachers lie, college lecturers lie, and it's all done in the name of trying to keep up the notion that, the white race is superior to other races, which is a joke. And this is what is causing racism to continue to exist, because they're lying. So when someone comes out with the truth, it's like, instead of it just being the truth and okay, yeah, and people feel enlightened by it, they feel offended by it. You see what I'm saying? Because, they're not there. It goes into, it contradicts what they've been taught to believe. Now remember, the Piltdown, the Cheddar Man, he was a black person. The people were black, but they're saying that this person now probably had blue eyes. They're not definitely sure. Probably had blue eyes, but we know what black people look like. Yeah. Black people have woolly hair. Yeah, and dark skin. This this model, what they call it, reconstruction now, of the model of the skeleton or whatever. It just looks like, shaggy hair. And maybe, I could be wrong, but it doesn't matter if they had blue eyes or green eyes or whatever. The first British people were black, yeah. But it seems to me, because of the history of the lies and brainwashing and whitewashing and whatever, it seems to me that they know that that the truth is a bitter pill for their own people to swallow. So give them something to pacify them, because it's too much to just say that the first British people were black. What, UKIP supporters and Britain First and that, and all their sympathizers and what? it's too much of a bitter pill to swallow. So give them something, you know. Add a little, you know, possibly that, you know, the Cheddar Man had blue eyes, and, you know, when you do the reconstruction now, give him some blue eyes and straight hair. Make him look like you know, like a dark-skinned white man or whatever. You know, give them something. No, the truth says that the first British people were black. You know what I'm saying? That's something you have to just take. I know some of you are enlightened by it, but some of you are hurt by it, innit? Yep. And you know, it arouses your racist feelings and them thing there. But that's what happens when you've been lied to all your life. Now, another thing is, we know that, you know, the first humans were black, so it shouldn't surprise people that wherever you go, you know, when they dig up early bones and fossils and they discover civilizations and whatnot, it shouldn't surprise you that, you know, when they find black people are the first this or the first that. It shouldn't surprise you, you know. Because before they used to say that, you know, black people are, you know, monkeys, and they draw even to this day when they do like Noah's Ark or the film Noah. They get someone like Russell Crowe to play Noah and all that. When now we know that it's all fake. Do you know what I mean? Now check this out, yeah?
But now we know there was interbreeding, and that all non-Africans living today are part Neanderthal.
Excuse me?
And that all non-Africans living today are part Neanderthal.
Okay, so all non-Africans living today are part Neanderthal. Yeah. Now let me just add to that.
Now let me give you one more fact here that I love so much. I can't tell you how much I love this fact, because it flips the narrative of racists right on its head. Okay? The only place in the world where there wasn't interbreeding with Neanderthals, Sub-Saharan Africa.
Okay, so there you have it. I don't need to say anymore. Yeah? Peace. Shalom.